I'm nervous, but I'm ready. Let's do this, okay? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been years and I apologize, but all we can do is do better. So anyway, this video is honestly more than 4 years in the making. It's about my skin and my skin issues and kind of like the journey I've had to go through with my skin since about 2020. So thanks so much for joining me. Hope you stay till the end. If you can relate or just like my face, like, subscribe, leave a comment, or don't. I'm just happy you're here. So 2020 was the year everything kind of changed regarding my skin. I've always described my skin as oily, and that didn't change. So what exactly happened? In 2020, I left Howard and moved home because of the panorama. And actually the footage you're seeing right now is from the actual week that I left campus. I was filming myself, as I'm always filming something, and just filming kind of like the transition back home and the craziness and the emptiness. So when I would get the occasional pimple, which is all I'd ever really get, just here and there, it would leave a mark, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I struggled with hyperpigmentation, heavy back then. So when I started getting more acne, that was the first thing I attributed it to, just, you know, overall stress. But then I graduated and it just got worse. So here begins my process of elimination. I started with my diet. I cut it down to the bare bones. I didn't have sugar in it. I didn't have dairy. You know, just very, very whole foods, healthy foods. Nothing changed. I got more active. I was consistently taking walks like morning and night. I was doing home workouts because the gyms were closed. Nothing changed. After intense research, watching videos, looking at ingredients, I added a couple things to my skincare routine. And low-key, it kind of made things a little worse. Like, not crazy, but it was like, I was just doing too much. So then I cut a bunch of stuff out of my skincare routine to just, you know, again, get to the bare bones, just the necessities, and it was still just getting worse. It got to the point where the only variable left was my birth control. So of course I took that out and I was like, okay, this is the thing. I've done everything else. This has to be the thing that is, you know, triggering my acne. I was so devastated, y'all. Nothing changed, absolutely nothing. I will say this is around the time that I got the first clue as to what I might be dealing with, but I still had no idea. So what exactly was I dealing with? I know I've built it up, but do not worry, I will show you right now. The only reason why I have these photos is because every time I would go to the dermatologist, I think my skin would be in like this kind of neutral position, and so they wouldn't believe me, so I would have to start taking photos to kind of show them what I was dealing with. And that's the only reason I have them, because honestly it is so hard for me to even look at those photos, let alone show the world. But I've learned through this journey that I'm not the only person struggling with this, and that's made it a bit easier. So back in 2020, it would start as 1 or 2 bumps, which wasn't even normal for me back then. But year after year, it would get more and more intense until they would cover my whole face. I hadn't changed anything major in my life when it came to my routine. The only big change I could really think of was my environment, so I was really at a loss. And I had moved before. There had been several moving back and forth, traveling, and I had never experienced this. So I was very, very just confused. I didn't know what to do. The acne would cover my face in these raised bumps. I would describe them a little bit like as cystic. Like they wouldn't just like pop the next day. They were very intensely raised, and when they did manage to heal and go away, they would leave the darkest marks of hyperpigmentation. Like, I had never experienced this. And this would happen in a cycle. So just when I finished treating the hyperpigmentation from a previous round of acne, and you know, I didn't have any active acne, new acne would appear, so I would still be treating the hyperpigmentation and now trying to treat active acne. It really has been very difficult, like, I'm not gonna lie, and I realize I'm kind of like laughing a little bit, but I'm still going through this and it is still very hard. But I've just kind of learned that your life can't stop. But the fact that it was cyclical kind of gave me a clue and led me to thinking back to my birth control. So I believe, based on my research and my experiences, that I am struggling with hormonal acne, possibly brought on by a hormonal imbalance and triggered by or exacerbated by stress. So as I'm still trying to figure out what's going on and why, I kind of pinned together that the two times my acne really flared up and got kind of unmanageable was two major times when I had moved in the past. The first time was when I moved home from school and everything started, like I mentioned before. But the second time was actually only a few months ago, the end of last year, when I moved here to Amsterdam. And that recent time, the stress of doing an international move alone, you know, starting school right away, trying to figure out where everything was, navigating a new language, and then having to meet people, go to class with uncooperative skin, it really took a big hit to my mental, and it took a lot to get through that. And it got to the point where I had to really compartmentalize what was going on with my skin and how it made me feel and how I was managing it. Because if I thought about it too much or got too deep into how it made me feel and how it wasn't getting better, I wouldn't have been able to, you know, get through my first semester, you know, figure out how to get groceries for myself, set my place up. It was this thing where it was like, you have to choose one or the other. And I chose to push through, and it was not easy, but I realized that if I didn't, I would just stay at home all day. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't go to class. I wouldn't try to figure out my surroundings or get familiar with my surroundings. And it would honestly just prolong the amount of time it would take to do that, since I am here for a couple years and I didn't want to do that. So I just kept going. I will say affirmations during this time did really help. So as you can see, I have on just a bit of makeup right now, but here, I'll put a photo right here of how my skin literally looked just this morning. So this is how my skin is looking these days without any, just barefaced. Put it right here. So these days, I would say I've learned a lot, definitely, about skincare and combinations and things like that. Overdoing it, definitely. But I would say I'm definitely more towards, I know it doesn't look like it today. This is for very special occasions in filming, but I'm pretty minimalistic when it comes to my skincare routine and my makeup routines. I'm in a phase right now though where I'm trying to get my perfect, like everyday, elevated everyday look. So I do play around a bit more, but I don't really wear much makeup when I go out or, you know, just to do everyday things. And I beg, I'm no pick me. I'm not trying to, you know, enter the pick me arena, but it is really true. It's mostly out of laziness. Like, I think about having to come home and take it all off, and sometimes it takes everything in me to just do my nighttime skin routine and like my nighttime brushing routine, that taking off makeup sometimes is just one step too many, and so I just don't wear it. I think after all the research I did and kind of like using different things from different trends, I was still very particular. Like, I wasn't trying just everything just because, you know, it went viral or whatnot. I do go with what dermatologists and doctors and research says, and a bit of, you know, what the ingredients say versus what, you know, goes viral. Even Korean skincare. And I love Korean skincare. I think they do a great job with, there's so many different products, and majority of them are very affordable and cooperative with sensitive skin. So I love me some Korean skincare, but I've just kind of stepped into this era where less is more. All in all, the past little over 4 years now have been a really hard journey that I'm still on. I've had to and continue to be patient with my skin and just stick to routines and stay consistent. Be aware of when, you know, I'm doing too much. Like this week actually, I'm taking a skincare break, so just doing the moisturizing and the toning, and that's it, because I felt like my actives were kind of getting to my skin barrier. So just a little week break and we'll be right back on schedule. Sometimes when I look back, I can't even believe how wild of a journey it's been and how bad it's gotten at some points, but I'm very grateful that as time has passed, it continues to get better in my opinion, and I continue to feel better about it in general. I absolutely miss my pre-2020 skin, but I think more so I just miss not worrying about it at all. Like I said, I would get the occasional pimple here and there, and I was looking, through the footage from that time, and it was just like my skin looked like this, except I wasn't wearing makeup, So yes, I would love to get that carefree skin back, but I'm hopeful that if I just continue and I'm patient, that I'll get to a point that's maybe even better. I am really looking forward to continuing to heal my skin in the future, and I am 1000% locked in for the journey. But the journey can end very soon. The journey does not have to keep dragging out. It can wrap up, and I will be grateful. And I just wanted to say, if anyone else watching this is going through hormonal acne or any skin condition that's similar or maybe just completely different, I just want to say I completely empathize with what you're going through. It's not easy. It's really, really not easy at all. And I know it's not just as easy as like hanging in there, but I'll just say please do. And please go easier on yourself about it, especially if you're doing all you can. Sometimes it really is just about consistency and time and, finding some self-love in the meantime. And I would say most importantly, like, take your days in. Like, God knows there are some days where I'm just like, yeah, no, let's try again tomorrow. But don't put your life on hold because of it. Because I really feel, and it took time to get here, right? But I truly feel now that people, things, and opportunities won't miss you because of your skin, even if you feel like they will. And if for whatever chance they do, really internalize that it probably wasn't the opportunity for you. Thanks for going through some history with me, some skin lore, and now we're gonna get into my present day skin routine. Like I mentioned, this is what I would typically do. It is what I typically do. I did it last week. And I'm gonna show you my pre-gym routine, which is really nothing. Anyway, you'll see. My morning routine and my night routine, I have some variations because I cycle through retinol, I cycle through my AHAs and BHAs and things like that. I hope it makes sense when you see me doing it visually, and I will be explaining kind of the different nuances that I do throughout the week. So thanks so much for making it this far, and if you want to see my present day skincare routine, let's get into it. Hey guys, so this is my pre-gym routine, and it's really not a routine, but I wanted to show everything I do to my skin. So the first thing is just washing with just water, no cleanser, no nothing. So pretty much a rinse. Put in my contacts. Kind of hilarious that I'm crying from both eyes. And then I go in with my The Ordinary Natural Moisturizing Factors. I really like this lotion because it has no scent, it's thick and creamy, so I feel like it locks in the moisture since I'm not putting anything else on, but it's not like heavy and clogging. Great for the morning. Then I'm off to the gym. That's it. Okay, now we're back from the gym and I've just showered and washed my hair. First thing I'm going to do is use my Kiehl's oil-free cleanser. A little goes a long way, so it's really awesome. I'm still using it to this day. Next, I go in with the oil-free toner from the same line and a 100% cotton pad. And I would just like to make sure I get in all the crevices. It's fast forwarding, but I'm really, really gentle, and I do get my neck. Next is my Anua niacinamide concoction that I've been waiting so long to use. I actually really like it because it's so light, and I feel like it really does seep into my skin and it absorbs pretty quickly, and I really like it. I haven't noticed any irritation or anything. This is just a sample I got from Kiehl's. It's their calendula emulsion, and it's supposed to be great for oily skin, so I'm just using it, but I don't think I would buy like the full version of it. Now this is not Maria Badescu. It is rose water, but it's just rose water I got from the hair store, which honestly is literally the same thing. So I just spray that on and let it absorb a little bit before I go in with my La Roche-Posay Double Repair Face Moisturizer. Again, I really like this. It's similar to the natural moisturizing factors of The Ordinary, where it's thick and I feel like it's locking in everything I've put onto my skin before, but it's not clogging. So I like using the After Rose water to just lock everything in. My Aloe Soothing Sun Cream. I love this sunscreen, and you're supposed to use 2 fingers, but I only have one finger in my budget right now, okay? But I do make sure to apply it everywhere, and I love how it doesn't leave a cast. It's the only sunscreen I use that doesn't leave a cast, so I love it. Please don't run it out. Some Vaseline on the lips, and we're off. Okay, and now we're back for the evening. As you can see, I put on some makeup. So the first step is to take that off. Literally with my Clinique, take the day off. I absolutely love this formula. It's so much lighter. I haven't used makeup wipes in years, but compared to that, it is so much lighter. It just gets my makeup to just slide right off. And when I rinse it off, it's not a struggle at all. Like, it's amazing. Next, I go in with my kojic acid soap, and I am sparing with this because, regardless of what people say, it does have a bleaching factor. I really wanted to help with my dark marks. So I use this a month on, and when I run out of that little block, which is a third of the actual block you get, I take a month or 2 off. So yeah, because it kind of can get a little spicy in terms of the sensation it gives your skin when you use it too frequently. Next, we go in with the same toner from this morning, the Kiehl's Oil Free. Back in with the Anu Niacinamide. Again, love this stuff so much. And today's a retinol day, so I'm using the Kiehl's retinol. It's fine. I haven't noticed any issues or irritation, but it is so freaking expensive. The only reason I'm using it is because I got it on a super sale. Yeah, very expensive. Back in again with our rose water. And I just use the retinol, I will use tretinoin on opposite days. So I do 2 retinol days, 2 tretinoin days, but today was a retinol day. Now we're in with my Kiehl's facial cream. I would buy this again, but again, it's so expensive. It came with the retinol. It was a set, $61, okay? The retinol itself is like $90, so it was crazy. Then I go in with my rose hip oil from The Ordinary. I use exactly 4 drops, as I just showed you. And yeah, no problems with this either. Make sure to get the neck, okay? If you've been watching closely, I've been getting the neck. Get your neck. And then my final step is to just use this benzoyl peroxide lotion for any active acne, just to kind of help it along through the night to reduce. And that's it for the night. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.